health, and life. Here is the Brother Leon Show. You better recognize.
What's going on, listeners? This is your boy, Brother Leon, and you are tuning into another episode of the Brother Leon Show. I am excited today because today we have STD life coach Belize Spivey. We are going to call her and we are going to talk about the unmentionable. We're going to talk about STDs, we're going to talk about herpes, and we're going to talk about it in conjunction with the church. So we're going to talk about what she does, her lifestyle, her background. We are going to delve into what is not talked about, because when you start having that conversation about herpes, it's one of those tough, hard conversations. So with that being said, guys, we are going to call Miss Spivey right now.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, Miss Spivey? This is Brother Leon. I just did the intro. I just introduced you, and I just want to welcome you to the Brother Leon Show. And I just want to say it's an honor. I've been following you for a while, and I am excited. Yeah, I've been following you for a long while.
You know, Minister Leon, everybody, you are brother to me.
Yeah, brother. Yes, brother, definitely. So, the crazy part is I don't. Even though I'm licensed, I was a bootleg preacher for a while. I mean, even though I got my license, for real. I was a bootleg preacher for a while, but I finally got my license and everything. But the church and stuff that I come from, it wasn't a title-driven church. And my thing is, I'm like, Lord, give me the power. They could keep the title. And I'd rather just...
Listen, the title is the discipleship. The title, follower of Jesus. It was never pastor or whatever, other than, the prophets, whatever. But outside of that, nobody really had no title.
Uh-huh. So I mean, that's...
So I think that's the thing, the church be tripping. We don't say that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I agree. It's a whole lot of issues that they tripping on, so... I use...
That's a whole nother conversation about hold on.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, which we all need to really start talking about. I feel like if we don't call it out, it will not change.
Yeah, you're definitely right. So I've been using this platform that God gave me to, to speak on a whole lot of topics, a whole lot of issues.
Right.
I know, like right now, we talked about these last few days, and I got an interview this weekend. We're going to be talking about emotional health. And also,
good.
We've been talking about that for a while. I've actually had a conversation. We talked about church hurt with a pastor from the LGBTQ plus community. So, the one thing about church hurt is that, it's one of those issues that a lot of people feel as though that it's not real. But it is real. That's
the lie from the devil real. He gonna have you lying to believe you never get hurt.
Oh yeah. And the crazy part is, is that, you have some pastors and teachers feel as though that, hey, just get over it. I'm like, man, come on. It's not that easy, because here it is, a violation or a trauma happens in a point in time. At that point, life stops.
Yeah, vulnerable time. Super vulnerable. You hurt me on top of hurting me.
Yeah.
You've been the one healing me, and you hurt me.
Yeah. And the crazy part is that, the Bible says that God, he will redeem the time, that he will restore to you the years. But, a lot of people are stuck at that moment.
He will. He didn't say human.
Yeah. He didn't say human. He said, he will. But a lot of people, they need to have God do something with that internal, because life stops right there, but time ends up going on. You end up getting older. But at that point where you got violated, you're still there, and you need God to help to bring you present. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, you need God to bring you present. So that's the conversation that we have had. And I want to try to delve into that with today's interview as well, because, there are a lot of people that feel as though that they have no place for forgiveness, even when it comes to contracting an STD and being Christian and
Come
so
on.
forth. You know?
When I say this topic is my heart right now.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
This is my heart right now, especially as being a follower of Jesus. This is my heart right now because I feel like God is just like, why y'all keep throwing my kids away for sin when I died for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why you keep throwing my kids away for what I already handled? He's tired of it.
Yes.
He is. He's like, why do y'all? I handled that. Why are you still judging people for what I already handled?
Exactly. So I know we're gonna go into it today. So can we start off? Can you tell?
We gonna get in their face today. I'm that type. On this side, and I was hard on the other side. Okay.
Yes. So Miss Spivey, can you tell us who you are? What is your background? Where are you from?
All right, so I'm Belize Spivey. I am from I was born in Decatur, Georgia. So I'm a Georgia peach. Been here all my life. I only left to go to school and so I received my Bachelor's of Business Administration at Auburn University. Come on. So I went to Auburn. I ended up getting my business administration there. Then later on in life, while I was at Auburn, I ended up contracting herpes simplex virus. So I ended up finding I had genital herpes. When I say it was traumatic, number one, I was a black girl at a white school. That was hard. I went from Tuskegee, which I say black, to all the way white. It was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I had coaches. I went to black schools all my life. Not saying I had anything against being. I work with white people all the time, so I'm able to. It doesn't matter. I can work with anybody as long as you respect me. I respect you and we'll move. But if you disrespect me, we'll have a problem. But outside of that, that wasn't an issue. It was just. It's a different type of culture I wasn't used to. I didn't know anybody that looked like me. So I really had a hard time on top of having a herpes diagnosis where you already feel isolated. You already feel like nobody cares and you feel like you got this big H on your chest and everybody know you had it. You just ain't told nobody. So you just really feel isolated. So that was really, really tough for me. But that in that time, I feel like, number one, I rededicated my life to God. I figured out what my purpose was in life, which I am doing now. And I also just understood that things happen for a reason. It was the best thing that I went to, the school that I went to at the time that I found out. Because if I was among my own, it would have been 10 times worse. It was only 3,000 people total at my school, and everybody knew everybody. There wasn't no running, you know. Wow. Everybody, they work in the clinic. They work, you know, everybody know your business. Mm-hmm. So I think it was nothing but a blessing that I ended up going there. So what I do, I am an SU life coach. I am the only one. You won't find another. It ain't no copycat. I'm the only one out here. God gave me that. So that's what I do. I serve individuals with herpes, men and women. I offer them extensive education about herpes. I give them practical steps for their psychological health. And then I teach them how to overcome the stigma. And then I also provide them amazing God-given, because that wasn't me, products that can help them during that outbreak, even if they're taking medication.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. So let me ask you this: how do you help people cope with the reality of being diagnosed as positive? Because it's almost like a shock. You know what I mean? It's almost like,
oh no, you're in shock mode.
Yeah.
And I tell people, my biggest thing is telling my clients where they are. Mm-hmm. I gotta tell you where you are so you know where you're operating. Because a lot of people have no clue. Some people stay in shock mode alone. Or you know anybody who have been in a traumatic experience, just say you get into a bad car accident, that person just stuck, they're in shock mode. Some people that takes weeks to come out of. Mm-hmm. Some people it's just a couple of minutes, they just snap out and they come back to reality. For us, it's a big shock because, number one, we don't hear about it enough. When we do hear about it, all we hear is negative. So I tell people, subconsciously, we all know the negative stigma of herpes, and when it happens to you, it comes to your conscious mind. Mm-hmm. And it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what you already knew, now you are becoming, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really hard. So I tell people, you are shocked. It's okay. And I'll let people literally stay there for a second. I get your bearings. Don't try to move so quick. Like, I need you to put your feet on the ground. You know, like when you're sitting on the doctor table and your feet just swinging, that's where they at. I said, you're not ready to step down yet. Just sit up there for a minute so you can kind of like allow yourself to feel. And I tell my clients that, feel. Stop suppressing, especially within our community. We are used to suppressing. We had no choice. We were slaves. We had no choice. You cry, you get beat worse. We learn how to shut up and take pain. And since that happened, I'm teaching people to cry, throw something, not hit nobody, but throw something that you don't mind throwing, but allow yourself to feel it so you can heal it.
Exactly. I like that. Allow yourself to feel it so you can heal it, because, you know, I think probably the biggest thing is when people decide they want to be numb. You know what I mean? Because being numb is not being healed. You know what I mean?
That part.
Yes. So let me ask you this. How did you come up with the name Overcoming the Stigma?
Okay, so I got two names, truthfully. So I have Overcoming the Stigma, which is like more of a tag name, and my business is really STD Life Coach. That's who I am, you know? So I came up with Overcoming the Stigma because I was literally in my dorm. Like, and my biggest thing, I was sitting in my dorm and I was like, God, this ain't gonna take me. I done been through molestation, I done been through incest, I done been through a lot of stuff. You ain't gonna let this take me, right? Like, I just know you not. Even though I'm still battling with wounds, you not gonna let this take me, right? So I told him, I'm gonna overcome this thing. Nothing gonna overcome me.
Yes.
And it held weight. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to overcome the stigma of herpes so bad that I fought for it.
Yes.
And I said, you know what? If I can fight for it, I want to teach other people to fight to overcome it just like I did. I had a heavy desire to overcome the stigma.
Wow.
I wasn't going to be a number.
Exactly. So let me ask you this, and I want to take it to church, because
come on,
there are a lot of people that are suffering in silence in church because they feel as though that they have no right to ask God for forgiveness because they should have been living a celibate life, or right. So let me. Can you unwrap that for us? Because there are a whole lot of people that are suffering in church right now.
I was the one having sex a lot. Okay, let's go to the people. Look, I ain't talking to my celibate people. You do you. I'm gonna talk to the ones who really need it. That was me. I had been having sex since I was 13 years old. 13. So I was having sex since I was 13. Yet I was not raised in the church. I'm gonna tell you that. I wasn't raised in the church, but I was very much sure who God was. Because my grandma, she was in church, she was hospitality. You know my grandma, you know my grandma knew why. She was early. You know, I knew my grandma knew God, but God was not taught to me. I was introduced to him by myself, of just going and him drawing me in. So I didn't truly have an understanding of why wait. Which is true. In most church, all we know not to wait, but you don't understand the dangers of sexual immorality. So that's something to unpack in itself, where it's just not sex, it's sexual immorality that God is like, flee from.
Yes. Like,
get the heck away, because truthfully people don't understand. That is the one sin against your body. That's you. And as we know, our flesh, our body is not ours. It's God. So this is the one thing you're doing against yourself. He tells you to get gone. I mean, for real. Like, I need you to stay away from that one, because it's going to do you some damage.
Yeah.
And you're not going to, it's going to do damage to your flesh that you feel like your spirit can't recover from. That's good. It's going to do stuff to your flesh that you think your spirit can't recover from, which is not true. But when your flesh gets damaged, you believe your spirit is damaged, then that's not true. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, and they don't get it because it's not taught. That's something I learned on my own, bro.
Yeah.
Of me just asking God, like, what is my problem? Why do I feel like I can't live without sex? Why do I'm addicted to masturbation? Why am I addicted to Why? He said, because that thing manifests itself into everything. It wants you to mess your flesh up.
Yeah.
It wants you to hold on to everything. And literally, it messed me up. I was being very unproductive in activity. I wanted to watch porn. I wanted to masturbate. You are unproductive. Have sex are you unproductive. You can't do God call laying in the bed.
Yeah.
Outside of marriage, that's ministry. But still, outside of that, and that is to keep y'all bounded together and making y'all one and keeping the intimacy there and the respect there and the closeness there. And make you one. And if you're one with the devil, you're going to operate with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people just don't get it. And it took me that long to understand why he wanted me and his children, not just me. You know, I think I'm, real special. That's just me. I think we all should. Mm-hmm. But he wants all his children to flee for a reason, because he said, you're making one with the one who don't want you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So I would tell anybody, number one, live by the commandments. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally live by it. I don't care if nobody's teaching it to you. And if you're seeking to always get it from a leader, you have already failed yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay? You have failed yourself. Our leaders are guided. They are not your full teacher. You teach yourself. It says seek out your, you got to work out your own salvation. They didn't say work out your salvation with your pastor.
Yeah.
It said work out your own. That means make sure you know it for you. Mm-hmm. Show yourself approved. They didn't say show yourself approved to your pastor.
Yeah.
Now prove it to your pastor.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what a lot of people are looking. They're looking for their pastor to do the work. Your pastor already doing the work. He's showing himself approved. Mm-hmm. But he's coming down, and I had to get this too. He's trickling down a word for a masses. He's not trickling a word down just for you. Mm-hmm. So some people in the church are feeling left out, and I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're dealing with sexual immorality, are feeling outcast because the word only comes for correction, and it's not coming from a place of understanding for them, because I believe that's where the Holy Spirit is supposed to lead you into getting that full deliverance from it. It ain't going to always come from the pulpit. And if you're looking for that, you're going to stay broke in, okay? You're going to stay broken, and that was me. I wanted my pastor to lay his hands on me. I want him to deliver me. And as we know, deliverance is a decision you make, not nobody else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm glad you talked on that, because, a lot of people feel as though that, I don't even have a right to ask God to deliver me. But, I look at it.
I don't know what Bible they've been reading.
Yeah, well, see, you got to look at it. These are a lot of things that are being preached at times. And it's also like the spirit of...
We're not testing the spirit.
Yeah.
That's our problem. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. I was one of those people, I'll take my pastor word as bond. But after being around leaders, God has given me a call to be around leaders. They are beyond flawed. Mm-hmm. Test the spirit by the spirit.
Yeah.
And half the time, they ain't always in the spirit.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And if you don't know that because you ain't studied to show yourself approved, you don't even know how to, and I can even say this, many people are neglecting one of the gifts of discerning of spirit.
Yes.
It's weak.
Yes.
Or you say, it's my intuition. It is not your intuition. If you're a believer, it's the Holy Spirit. Put your respect on it.
Yes,
I'm being honest. Put your respect on the person who cares more about you than anybody else.
Yes, exactly.
My goal is, I tell people, the Holy Spirit is a snitch. I love you, brother, but he already told me about you. I'll tell you now. I was to God about you before you came. You wonder why it took me so long to say something. I was to God about you. Mm-hmm. I said, is this the right platform for me? Do you see fit that I do this? And he told me the personal thing. And you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit will snitch on a person. I be knowing folks' business, and this is not to boast. This is for you to realize you ain't crazy. Mm-hmm. When you meet a person, he don't tell you everything. You like, how do I know this?
Yeah.
And why do I know this?
Yeah.
Because the Spirit loves you enough to not let you walk into something fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the same thing even with sexual, any sexual sin. You never go in blind. You are very much aware that this person don't want to be with you. This person have this. Or I have many of my clients come to me and say, my mama told me he had something. Or I had a feeling he had something. And when it happened, now you mad. You didn't take heed.
Yeah, exactly.
We are always warned.
Exactly. Let me ask you something. Why do you think that we disregard the warnings? What's up with that?
I think we disregard the warnings because we're not taught what the warnings could come as. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's not really, and you know what I mean, especially being in leadership, you understand what you learn is because you seeked it out. Mm-hmm. You seeked it. Like, I want to know this, I want to know that. Or you got around some great mentors who are very Spirit-led that kind of gave you what you needed because the Holy Spirit said, give him this, give him that for the call. He needs it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of us don't have that around us. Mm-hmm. out here in the field just hoping to God that he's listening and he's following and he's leading. So I would tell people you have to really act for yourself. And I mean, sit down. And this goes to a thing is, do you know what God sounds like to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are struggling with that. It's like, I don't even know how he talked to me. I don't know. The first thing, and I had to learn it, the first way to know that God's talking to you is that it must line up with the word. Because if it do not line up with the word of God, question it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, God will say stuff out of pocket. I'm like, you said what?
Yeah.
And I'll ask him, I say, is that true? Because that don't even sound right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll confirm it with something. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. Sometimes he do things that's not orthodox, because he's trying to get to some other people. He knows that his children are different. He knows that some people are dabbling in witchcraft. He said, I got to get you talking like them a little bit so they think you understand.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing for anybody is to learn what a warning look like to you. Like consistently, if you get a pit in your stomach, I'm about to talk about some feelings because some people feel stuff. You feel a pit in your stomach when you get around certain people. It's something happening, and you need to be aware. Some people get headaches. Some people get chills or itchy feelings. Some people they see stuff, or as we know, some people, they see the spirit. Mm-hmm. Some people are dreamers. They dream about things before it happens. And then it happens, you're like, oh my God. And you're like, I didn't think that really was going to happen. I mean, vivid dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is you got to learn how your warnings are presented to you. For me, my warnings come through feeling and him just flat out telling me.
Yeah.
But that's something I had to learn, but I was intentional of trying to get close to him. If you get close to him, he will get close to you. Better believe that.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are saying we want to be close, but we're not acting like we want to be close.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to come to you if you're not coming to him. He's asking you, if you want this, come on. If you want to, come on, because I will give you the wisdom. I'll give it to you if you're seeking it out. But if you're not saying, you're just saying, oh, yeah, I want to know, but you're not diligently seeking it out, you're not going to get an answer just looking for one thing. Like looking on Google and hoping that Google give you the first listing. Sometimes you got to go through a couple pages. Mm-hmm. To find and look for what you're looking for. And God is like that sometimes. Sometimes he give it straight to you, and then sometimes he wants you to go through a couple pages because he be working some stuff out of you. Mm-hmm. And you don't realize it. Or he wants you to get into a place of digging and seeking him and saying, I'm not going and I'm not leaving you until you give me what I want. Yeah,
exactly. So here's another thing I want to ask you about, because going back to where we was talking about the whole thing, people feeling as though that, they don't have a right to ask God for forgiveness. Some people even feel as though that not only that, but also, they're believing God for a miracle and everything like that, because,
Jesus was the miracle.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. They're believing a miracle. Hey, in their imagination, or sometimes they may have faith to believe that, hey, God's going to heal me from this and everything.
He will.
Yeah.
But something I can say, and I'm so happy you talked about this, because literally I had this revelation on my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little unbelief count for all your faith.
Yeah.
Just like they said, a mustard seed, it's just a little bit. But if you got a little bit, but it's all of what you believe in with no unbelief, it will manifest whatever God is going to give, whatever God's will for you. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I like to say God's will because everything is not God's will for you. And that's something all of us have to learn. What is God's will for your life? Period. Whatever the Bible says is your will. And I'm going to say that because a lot of people think, well, we can get on that. That's all now. No, it's in the Bible. It's your will. Health, that's your will. Healing, that's your will. Forgiveness, that is your will. Mm-hmm. Period. But a lot of us look in that word and say, it's no way that he wants me to have it. Why not? Why would he write it if he didn't want you to have it?
Yeah.
But a lot of people have a lack. They're struggling with the unbelief. And that made me just go into just the gospel. He got on them consistently. You a little faith. You a little faith. Because he knew that little unbelief is going to kill all the faith or all that I'm trying to do. They won't believe me. They won't believe me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was trying to pull them and say, I gotta get you to believe because when I raise from the dead, you gonna think it's a lie, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because they still lacked unbelief even when he rose and he had to show them the holes in his hand.
Yeah.
They didn't believe him.
Yeah, he did it with Thomas.
It hinders us to get what he say we can have.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Like, it's really a unbelief thing. And I can say, dealing with it myself, that unbelief coming to conforming to the world. We conform to the world with ease, and we don't realize it. And he tell us not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He tell us, and I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are doing it. Be careful what you, and this is just a warning, be careful what you share. Do not share something and you have not looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I'm sure, brother, I don't know if you talked about it. It's a video of these two young men saying, oh, I'm not like God, I'll fight you or something. They are not Christians, period.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not turning to other people. God said revenge is mine.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Christians saying that.
Yeah.
You're not a follower, you're not a disciple, and I will say it to your face.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. Bitterness and anger do not produce righteousness at all.
Yeah.
But that's where, if you don't know that, you fall for the trend. Just because they're nice-looking black men, and they making it seem like they're being black power, and, oh, Black Lives Matter. That's not what it is. That's a spiritual attack. Like discrediting Jesus. No, he died for them too, and they just being foolish.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So that's what us conform to. We cannot share things that do not align with the word of God. We cannot say things, and I know we all make mistakes, okay? This is not saying you don't make mistakes. If you're looking for perfection, you ain't never gonna have it, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look for it. But you need to make it your business to follow the commands. The way that you go to work and you make sure you do what you need to do or you're going to get fired, you need to have that same type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us have that energy more in the world than we have with God, just because he's in the sky. And that's another thing. God is not in the sky. And that's something my pastor had to say to me. He's not in the sky. He's in you.
Yeah.
And since he's in you, respect him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I like that because, the crazy part is that, it takes me to that scripture. It says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. And a lot of people,
I love that scripture.
They feel as though that, I messed up, so now I got to start all back over again. I'm like, no, you just need to forgive.
Came up with that motto of start over? That is a trap. Only the enemy keeps you in a nasty cycle over and over. God don't ever. He said, you heal today, done.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You free today, done.
Exactly.
That's the enemy, and I think that's the thing. We don't know who's after us.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know his games, you will fall for them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. What's some of the biggest myths, when it comes to herpes?
Okay. So the biggest myth is that cold sores and fever blisters is not herpes. They have lied to you. Yes, it is.
Wow.
That's why your grandma always say, don't be kissing them babies in the mouth, okay? I had to break it down to what we all used to. Grandma said that because she knew people can get stuff from kisses. She probably didn't know what it was called, but she knew it was contagious.
Wow.
We didn't understand that because really Grandma never broke it down because she didn't have enough knowledge to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Still to this day, don't kiss a baby in the mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Especially if you have herpes, don't do it. It's dangerous to a baby. Okay? You can kill that child. And that's just the truth. That's not to scare you, that's to tell you reality. And that's why you're seeing all these kids, in the last year, you've seen a bunch of kids get herpes and die.
Wow.
Because the baby can't handle this virus is aggressive in the nervous system. And I jumped to a question you had said. How do it affect the nervous system? I jumped back. The thing is, it lives on your nerve endings. So every time you're emotional or psychological fire off, it can fire off the virus. A lot of us cannot control our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us are in traumatic experiences and it's firing off. Some people in lie dormant and they just sit there. And then sometimes they just come out of nowhere. Some people it never affects.
Wow.
And that's another reason why it's a very complex, because it's in the nerve.
Okay.
It's not in the blood. It's in the nerve.
What?
Same as you think about HIV. It's in the cell. And it take a cell and change another. That's complex.
Yeah, it is.
You can't go in and kill all the cells.
Mm-hmm.
Same way that we can't go in and kill all the nerves.
Yeah,
You don't get those back.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the thing, because I'm not going to lie. Like, I was told that herpes is a blood disorder. That's what I was told.
It's not. It's more of a skin condition.
Okay.
You know, and I'll say skin condition because it affects the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know anything about, you know, if you ever been to a dermatologist, they focus on everything skin. Mm-hmm. And most of the things that are skin conditions are viruses, which most people don't even realize.
Wow.
Chickenpox is a virus.
Okay.
You know, many other things are typically viruses, and we don't realize them. And they come and go. For example, I'm not sure, I don't think it is, but eczema come and go when you're stressed, hot, the weather change, same thing with psoriasis. Mm-hmm. It's based off emotion and an environment change.
Okay.
That's complex.
Yeah, they are. So
That is super complex. So herpes fall more into a skin condition because it's very complex. It comes and goes. And they really can't tell you why.
Wow.
Everybody's different.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I know they say like there's herpes simplex 1 and then herpes simplex 2. Is it, can you end up contracting either or? If you have one, does it mean you can't get the other? Or
I have both.
Okay.
Yeah, I have 1 and 2. So let me explain. So in 1960-ish, they decided to indicate type 1, type 2. And I want to use that flip side to, like, we think about diabetes, type 1, type 2. So type 1 diabetes, you're born right. Type 2, it was diet driven. They took that same concept, basically, and said we're going to pull it over here, but it's going to be a location indicator. Okay? So 1 is oral, because it's at the top, and 2 is genital, is at the bottom. Herpes is herpes, though. So I'm going to kill that motto, because doctors really want to get away from type 1, type 2, because herpes is herpes. It's passed through skin-to-skin contact. That type doesn't matter. It doesn't. It indicates to you it just indicates a location, but there's no way to confirm that it came from that location. For example, if you're having oral sex, anal sex, all types of other types of sex, then it's going to be there. If that person's having an outbreak, they can transmit it to that location. Because of that, it's not saying it was just that. Because most people perform an oral sex and then they get genital herpes. They're getting genital herpes, but they have type 1. They're confused. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. It
kind of just gives you a quote-unquote idea, possibly how that person had it. But I'm telling you, I cannot wait till they kill type 1, type 2. I really wanted to say you have herpes, wherever you have your outbreaks is where you have it. Because at the end of the day, it can flip-flop. It can be anywhere. And I can kind of go into that. Like, literally, herpes can be facial. So, if, you can have herpes in your nose. If anybody know about Delicious, she talked about that about a couple of months ago. I even did a video on it, but I think she still got it on her page now. Go to the Delicious page. But she talked about having herpes. She had it on her mouth, and now she have it in her nose. You can have it in your nose. You can have it on your lip, on the side, like in the corners of your lip, at the bottom of your lip. You can have it on your chin. You can have it on your face. So every bump is not always a blemish. It can be an outbreak, herpes outbreak. That's not to scare you, it's to educate you. It can be in your mouth. No, it's not a canker sore. Canker sores are very painful, okay? Very painful. And canker sores is bacterial, just to let you know. And it has like this little white ring around it. It is very fiery red in the middle. Herpes is not like that. It typically attaches to the gum. It's like something that's very, very fleshy. Okay? So it can be there. It can also, some women can get it on their breast, on their stomach, things like that, because a person is kissing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In those areas. Genital area, so completely genital for women and female. It can be also on the inner thighs. It can be on your back, like your spine area. It can be on your buttocks. It can also be on your anus. It can also be inside of your genitals.
Wow, oh my God, that's crazy. So let me ask you.
On your hands.
Wow. So what about condoms? Okay. Can you protect yourself using condoms? Is latex 100%?
Okay. The thing about herpes is a skin to skin, not a. Let's think about it. We grown. Let's think about sex.
Yeah.
It only covers the penis.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It doesn't cover any of his other parts of his genital area, and it doesn't cover hers.
Yeah.
He only getting covered going inside of her.
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting covered by her labia and her clitoris, and he's not getting covered by any of that.
Wow.
So a condom, now I want to tell you, it does reduces the chance of transmission, but it's not 100% because it's a skin to skin. And I'll break some down. That's the same thing with HPV.
Mm-hmm.
It's skin to skin. Syphilis can be passed skin to skin.
Wow.
Genital warts, skin to skin. Okay? A lot of people need to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you, once you get past the initial shock, can you actually have a normal sex life?
Okay, this is vital. Okay, my whole thing is, and I tell my clients, until you can accept yourself, number one, and I'm not talking about full acceptance. Full acceptance is a facade.
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to get to a place where you are not down in yourself, and you're not disgusted at the thought of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to get that out of you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that out of you, and you learn your body. That means you're aware of your outbreaks, or if you don't have outbreaks, you get aware of any symptoms that you have, because most people in the first couple of years have a chance of passing the virus because they are oblivious of what's going on with their body.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to rush back to their sex life, and you didn't have a normal sex life in the beginning, but you didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't have one on this side either. You got to be more aware, which we should have did in the beginning, what we didn't.
Yeah.
Most people are just not. You want to do it, but you don't know why you want to do it, but you don't know the risk that comes with you doing.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, get to a place where you're not disgusted with yourself, but you love yourself in spite of, and you accept that I don't care what other people think, because the stigma ain't nothing but you worrying about other people thinking. Why do you care about other folks, what they think of you?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they think negative of you, you don't care for them no way.
Yeah.
They're not showing your best interest. I think we need to start worrying about what people who don't like you think.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like you, and you know it.
Yeah.
Stop
Exactly.
trying to be a people pleaser. Call that out.
Exactly.
Stop trying to please people.
Exactly.
That's nothing but the stigma. You want to please people. You want to be accepted. You want the world to accept you that hate you because you have the Holy Spirit. It's going to always hate you.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to get it to like you. It will never like you. I need to bust your bubble. Stop trying to be liked.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody realized Jesus wasn't trying to be liked. He was trying to save the world.
Yeah.
Save people, you know. He didn't care to be liked. He wasn't there for that. And we all got to understand, we're not here to be liked. We're here to be a vessel to God and save his children and share the gospel. If we get that in our head, we won't care what people got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not here for you. Jesus said, I'm here about my Father's business. And we all got to have that same motto.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Jesus, y'all.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this.
Because what he's saying is the truth. You're like, man, if you take that stuff to heart, you'll understand what he means.
Yeah.
But, after that, at your place, at a place to understand your body, which takes time, I would tell anybody it takes about a good year. And I know you're like, I can't have sex for a year. You need to close your legs any goddamn way.
Mm.
They don't call you psychological distress. I mean, verbal abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Oh, don't talk about being in a relationship he is spiritually abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he's a pastor or a prophet or a first lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll call that out too.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are the worst. They will spiritually wreck you. Especially if they're not of God. They're just using the word to just tie you up in a knot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's my biggest
But that's what you open yourself up to when you're outside of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You open yourself up to get put in the ring and get jumped.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, is not being explained. So you'll get past those two parts. Now you're at a place now of, I need to learn. And I know you're like, dang, you ain't there yet. No, you can't have sex until you get to a certain level. Mm-hmm. Now you got to be comfortable with telling folks and knowing how to tell them. That means your communication style got to increase. You got to level up and knowing how to tell somebody something. Yeah. And get over rejection.
Yeah.
A no will not kill you. It never do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when a no killed somebody. Let me know. Put your hand up. Inbox me and tell me when a no killed them. Other than outside of domestic violence, okay?
Yes.
And that no was because he wanted to control her or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a guy. Right. You know, so that no of somebody not going to abuse you will not kill you. So you have to get to a place of comfortable with knowing you got to do the right tell a person your sexual history, and also pulling them in to have a healthy communication about sex, what y'all like, what you don't like, you know, sexual history, things like that, because a lot of people do not talk about their sexual history. A lot of people don't deal with molestation, men and women on both sides, incest on both sides. People don't like to be touched on certain people. People don't like to, if you don't talk about it, you'll mess around and get punched in the bedroom.
I try to tell people that you got to have that conversation before you get married, because if you go in there expecting one thing and it's something else, that's because you didn't have that conversation.
Listen,
you know, and you can't live by imagination.
I was married, so I understand. Some things I was like, don't do that. Mm-hmm. Because I was molested. That sneaking up on me in the middle of the night, literally, it traumatized me. Because I dealt with that for years. Mm-hmm. Men, please be aware of that. That want to touch her in the middle of the night. Please ask her if she's okay with that. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of women will never tell you she was molested.
Yeah.
Because she's still ashamed and she thinks it's her fault. Mm-hmm. Ask her if she's okay. And I was in a recent relationship, and we talked about it. I said, do you mind if I wake you up? Do you mind if I touched you? You know, do you mind? And he said, no, I really don't like that because of what he went through. And I said, you know what? I will never do it. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, I respected what he went through, and I never want to trigger him. And that's just because you heal don't mean you don't get triggered.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people think healing is complete. Healing is a constant thing in your healing.
Yes.
You got to stay there. It's not something that's one thing. That's different, you know, physical body healing. But when it comes to a psychological healing, that's something you have to continue to work on. Okay? So you'll get to a place where you're comfortable with this clothing, and now you're in a place to enter into sex.
Wow.
So you got 3 major steps that most people get stuck in. Mm-hmm. I know, because that's where I help people the most.
Okay.
Sex be the end result. I am quick to say you cannot have sex. I ain't gonna lie, I love my clients, but I said absolutely not. You are dangerous to him and yourself.
Wow, I'm glad you can tell people that, because some people they'll be like, well, how you gonna tell me what I can and can't do?
I have the authority to, because you came to me.
Yeah.
Just the same way that you'll go to your pastor, you give them the authority to correct you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's something all of us have to understand. And it's not a control, and I think the line is real thin. Mm-hmm. It's real thin where people you get it, and I had to catch myself with that in my journey of learning, because I have a very dominant where I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you know it comes from love, but sometimes I gotta check myself, because at the end of the day, everybody's not used to direct. I was raised in very cutthroat direct. Mm-hmm. I was raised in that. With a lot of cussing. You know, so it was in your face.
Yeah.
I'm not sugarcoating, I don't care how you feel. Mm-hmm. I say what I want to say because I want to say it type mindset. So I had to kill that negative mindset and take it into a God-loving place and say, I'm telling you this because I love you and I don't want you to harm yourself.
Okay.
Take warning to what I'm saying, so stop.
Okay.
You know, so it got to come from a place of love. And people know when you love them. Don't let nobody fool you and say, oh, he love me. She know he don't love her.
Yeah.
She's trying to convince him. Mm-hmm. You can't convince love.
No, you can't. You shouldn't have to.
It's there or not.
Yes. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Some people, you know, they come to the realization, I have, you know, herpes. And some of them feel like, well, you know, because I have it, I got to settle. You know,
ooh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, because some people, they stay in negative relationships, they stay in abusive relationships because they feel as though that nobody's going to want them.
Okay.
So how can we get out of not settling?
First of all, you gotta have enough respect for yourself to know you deserve something. And that's what herpes do. Like the stigma of herpes have told you, once again, you have been subconsciously told that nobody's gonna want you. Nobody's gonna love you. You've been reading negative comments and all this stuff. So when it comes to your conscious mind and it's now your life, you believe everything that was told you that you didn't see relevant. But it wasn't relevant because you wasn't living it, but now it's relevant, so you believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not true. But the sad part is it's not enough people standing on a platform of some sort, big or small or little, even a blog, saying enough that I have it and I'm living. So it makes it believable because you don't see anybody. Everybody's living in a pit, in a hole,
mm-hmm.
and covering themselves up with dirt. So you start to believe it.
Yeah.
And it's not true. You don't have to settle. And I want to say this too. Most people who get herpes already used to settle.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking from experience and talking to over thousands individually, they already had a problem with it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I talk to my individuals who are very confident in themselves, they were before, they'll have a moment, but they say, I ain't settling though. I know what I deserve because they have this so much respect for themselves. Yes, it took a hit, and it takes more of a psychological, and some for them, they really get depressed at times, but they shut down and don't deal with nobody, period. But my people who have a settling problem are constantly in relationships. They constantly seeking somebody out or staying with somebody because they want to be fulfilled. Have you noticed the girl who always got a boyfriend?
Yeah.
She had a settling problem.
Mm-hmm.
She just want to be with something.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing of value. She just want a present. And it's not a present. It just don't want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a settling problem. A lot of people already had that problem. I tell people herpes is the icing on the cake. It's not the root. It's a production of what you produce over time.
Mm-hmm.
What you put in the ground, you produce this. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from somewhere. Now, I'm talking for my people who are out here making a decision to have sex. I'm not talking for my rape victims. I'm not talking for my individuals who got it from, as a child. I'm not talking from that aspect. I'm speaking for my people who literally make a decision to have sex. It was very consensual. Like we agreed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking to. I gotta make that clear. Because
Yeah.
I know my rape victims, I know my molested victims. They like to attach everything to them. You're making me feel bad. No. That person made you feel like it's always your fault. So you're going to take every situation and make it seem like it's about you. And that ain't have nothing to do with you. I'm not talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your story. You're taking advantage of.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you for definitely unpacking that. Let me ask you something. What's up with this testing? Because the testing, oh my God.
Oh my God.
The testing is outrageous. The cost for the test. And then it's like, okay, what type of test can a person get to really know that they actually have it?
Okay, so I'll tell you now. Herpes is not on the standard panel for herpes for testing for STI testing. It's typically gonorrhea, chlamydia, HIV, syphilis, and Hep C. And they don't include it because number one, herpes is manageable. Mm-hmm. I don't have to have any medication to heal. Everything else, if you don't get medication, it can cause you damage. I don't have to have any medication. I will not die. I will not damage any organs. I won't do anything for not taking anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing. They're like, well, I ain't tripping because if they have it, it ain't going to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
CDC used to say that very clear, but they don't clean it up, okay? They don't clean up their language. They still saying the same thing. They're just really being fancy about it. And now they say, well, it's common. That's what they say now.
Okay.
What's common is common to them. Scientists, doctors, that's common. What you do for a living, if I came to your job, you're like, oh, that's normal. It's not normal to me.
Yeah.
So we all got to get them out. Even the health industry got to get out of the mindset of what they think and feel every day and start thinking it from a patient standpoint because it's not common if I ain't never had this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not included. You must ask for it. Now, you may be blessed. Well, many doctors do test, and I'm going to tell you why they test. They test because most of the people in your area have it. You're at a high risk of getting it. Mm-hmm. And the numbers increase in their area. They don't test you for it if you want to be tested or not.
Okay.
You know, but you won't know that. That's just data. You will never know that. You'll have to, like, have a really cool nurse who want to tell you some stuff. Mm-hmm. Or you're just being aware. I was at a clinic. I had my last son. And I went back to get my pap smear or whatever after my son. It had been some time, and I was in the process of getting divorced. So I was like, I got to feel he cheats, so I'm about to go get tested again. So I went, and they had me sign a paper saying everybody gets tested for herpes. That let me know that the herpes count has increased. Which helped me know to realize that my ex-husband ended up checking it for somebody in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Somebody that was close.
Wow.
But that's just me having knowledge of the background. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you just go in the doctor, you just sign a paper. Every time we don't even read it. Which I tell everybody now, please read your HIPAA. Because they ask you if they can tell by phone. You don't want to get no call from work. At work, saying you have herpes or HIV. Yeah. Tell them they need to bring you into the office.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you get that call.
Read your HIPAA.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Mm-hmm. Read it. Don't just put your mama name on that. Oh, if we can't reach you, your mama gonna know what you got. Mm-hmm. So they don't call. Mm-hmm. If they can't reach you, listen, y'all, read the HIPAA. Read it.
Yeah. I didn't read the HIPAA, and I remember when I got the call. Oh my God, I was on that work truck, and I thought my life just. I'm like.
You almost ran into something. You just Holy Spirit took the wheel. And man, I'm just letting it go.
No, yeah, well, no, I was fortunate. I was on the passenger side. Somebody else, and dude was like, "Yo, man, you all right?" I was like, yeah, man, no. Yeah, take me back to the base. I think I'm gonna go home for the rest of the day."
Right. it literally, that's something you need to brace yourself for.
Yes,
and it happens all the time. I have so many girls. They find out at work, and they boo-hoo. Mm-hmm. They boo-hoo. And you're in a vulnerable state where you can mess around and tell somebody at work and it'd be your worst enemy.
Yeah. So I'm
so please read your HIPAA so your information will not be shared to anybody but you and how it's going to be shared to you. Yeah. Okay? Don't assume, I ain't going to get nothing, so I ain't got to worry about that. That's a lie. Go ahead and make sure you prepare yourself to always know how you want to receive any of your test results. Mm-hmm. Anything, okay? That's even going to a regular doctor. Tell them to bring you to the office so you can ask questions. Yeah. Don't ever receive nothing on the phone. They will not tell you crap.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to get you off the phone as quick as possible. So go ahead and just always go in the office so you can have that one time, at least 30 minutes with the doctor, and you can get your questions answered, okay?
Yeah. So let me ask.
Biggest thing is you have to ask. The test to ask for is the IgM test, which is a test that they really don't like using, but it's a blood test. So if you don't have any symptoms, like I'm going to speak from any symptoms, you don't have any symptoms and you just want to test yourself, then I will say do an IgG and an IgM. IgG and IgM blood test for herpes simplex virus, okay? And ask for it. They're going to probably tell you no and tell them, do it, or I'll report you.
Wow.
Because they cannot deny you service, especially if you have insurance. Stop letting these doctors tell you, especially my African American or my black, stop letting them tell you what to do pertaining to your health. You gonna serve me, or I'm gonna report you, and I'm gonna do a review. Period.
Yeah.
See how quick they move.
Oh yeah. Definite.
We have more power than they make you think. They don't have control of your health. You do. You gonna do it, or you will never get my business again. I said, give me my paperwork, give me a whole chart, and I'm out. Take you and your insurance money elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if they don't want to do it, say what you need to say. If you don't feel like they're upholding, then what you do after that is leave. You find another doctor that will. And I always tell people to call in. Call and talk to the receptionist, like, hey, how you doing? You know, I want to call and see if y'all do a herpes test. And ask them what type of test y'all do. Most of them will say we don't do herpes tests at all. You don't go there. Don't think you'll get in there and get something special. You will not. They'll go in there demanding it because you're going to look like a fool. I love you. But they don't test for it. Okay? So find somebody who do and ask what type of test they do. Okay? Next, if you have an outbreak, you know, you feel like you're having an outbreak, you think it's herpes, you got an opinion something it's herpes, go and get a swab. That's called a PCR. Okay? They're going to swab it, so they're going to take cultures like they're doing with the COVID-19. They're swabbing your nose. It's the exact same thing, but it's in the area that you're looking like you have the outbreak. And they're going to put it on the microscope and see what it is. Mm-hmm. Most doctors, when they see it, they got an idea what it is because they see it a lot. But I'm going to tell you now, it's very, 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 very misdiagnosed. Because most of the time, herpes don't look the same on everybody, especially for us. It do not look the same at all. It can look like a pimple. It can look like a razor bump. It can look like a cut. It could just be itching. It could just be burning. It could just be tingling. It don't always have to be physical. You know what I mean? So that's another thing. You got to understand, if you, and this is something I have to especially tell my believers, if you know the Holy Spirit is telling you that it's something, it is, and make sure you get it in the physical.
Yeah.
Make sure they prove what you heard in the spirit in the physical. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want to, keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on till you get what was in the spiritual into the natural.
Yes.
Nothing in the spiritual is supposed to stay in the spirit. It's supposed to come to the natural. And I think that's all we need to understand. Like, it's in the spirit, it wants to come to the natural. And you need to bring it over. You need to bring it over, you know, to make sure you know what you heard. Get the test results. Yeah. And sometimes that's frustrating because you'll go through multiple locations for that. For my individuals who don't have insurance, I can't offer something to you. So, amazing man I found out of California. He decided that he was a medical student. And he's like, you know, he got frustrated about herpes testing, getting quick results, getting quick medication, and things like that. So he came up with Herp Alert. So, for Herp Alert, what happens is if you have any physical outbreaks, they will literally get you to take a picture, okay? That means don't bust it open and act like you at a gynecologist or, you know, the doctor, you know, cover up, you know. Only show what you need, crop out, you know what I mean? Show the doctor so you'll have a professional doctor look at it. They'll go based off visual and say yay or nay. Most of the time they're going to tell you yes, and they're going to refer you to go ahead and go to a doctor to get it checked again, but they're going to go ahead and get you on medication. Because I tell anybody, if you're going to do the medication, you need to get on the ASAP. You do not wait. That medication got a time frame on it. Like, it's a time release, so it takes some time. It's best to take it as soon as you get any symptoms or as soon as you're experiencing your symptoms. If you wait, that medicine is null and void. It's going to be like you're taking a water pill.
Wow.
It's going to, you know, it's really just not. I said sugar pill. It's just not going to do anything. And you're going to be pissed because you think it didn't work. It did work. It's going to work after your outbreak is over. Mm-hmm.
So let me.
You know, went through all that pain, you know. So Herp Alert is good. When you go on there and go all the way through the process, you can use my discount code. It's Belize 25. You get 25% off. A typical test is like, or get confirmed, or just one to get your prescription is $79. So it's not bad. And I tell people, especially if you don't have insurance, this is a great way to do it because, number one, these are doctors who are just looking for herpes. Most places, you will go plenty places, and they won't do it, and you'll spend hundreds of dollars and don't get clarity on your test results. I also read test results. So I will read your test results. Don't ask me how I know how to do it. Just say it's the Holy Spirit. I know how to read test results.
Wow.
And I'm good at it.
Okay.
So if you get test results, especially if you know, doing a swab on yourself or you're doing a test on your own or you went to a clinic and got tested, and you know, once again, the labs are not going to explain them to you. That's not their job. Wow. That's what doctors do. Labs don't explain test results. If you're calling them to get them to do that, they're not going to do it. You'll have to call them and say, do y'all have a nurse or a doctor on staff? And if they don't, you're going to have to take them test results and take them all the way back to your doctor. And then your doctor's going to be salty because they didn't get their money.
You're right about that. You are so right. Because I went to a clinic. The same day I got that call. I was like, man, let me go to the clinic. And I paid like $250. And they referred me to a website to see if I was negative or positive. And it was crazy.
Yeah, they sent you to your portal.
Yeah. And then I ended up seeing my doctor. And yeah, you're right. My doctor did get pissed. He was like, you went to a clinic? I was like, yeah, I went to a clinic.
So, yeah, he was salty. And my whole thing is they salty because that's money. They get. Mm-hmm. And I used to work in a doctor's office. When I say a brief short of time, I understand billing. Mm-hmm. And when I say you're getting billed more than what you think, they especially for STIs, you get billed for STI, you get billed for the STI separately, you get billed for depression, you don't get billed for anxiety,
Wow.
Because you make more money with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let them play you. They're putting a whole lot of stuff on your. If you only knew your billing on there, you would be mad. I didn't tell you I was depressed, but you were dealing with depression at the time. You were dealing with anxiety at the time, so they can mark that.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was mind blown too, because I had to do charts and I had to put stuff in. And the lady I was working for, she worked with elders. So she would say, put this. I mean, she had a whole, and she said, put it in a certain way. So that the most paid, put it first. So we put it in order from the most money to the lowest.
Wow.
She said, at least have 5.
Wow. You opening my eyes to a whole lot of stuff right now. That's the goddamn truth.
She got checks I was on her checks every single day. She got checks from the insurance company every single day. Checks roll in. She has stacks of checks.
Wow. That, no wonder my doctor got 2 offices.
Oh yeah, I was pissed because they calculated how much money you cost, how much money you worth.
Oh my God.
And they know on top of that, if you had insurance, and the thing about it, I'll tell anybody, be careful with clinics. Because, and this is something I feel on my heart to say, you know they get paid twice. They get paid a heavy copay. The lab is getting paid. They still taking the money from your insurance. And then sometimes you get an extra bill for just going to that doctor. I don't have that. First of all, what? I got insurance. Why am I paying the doctor separately?
Yeah, I thought he'd get his cut out the insurance.
Some don't. But that's what when you don't know nothing, that's what happened to you. Because first of all, you should have got paid.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, you don't realize you're getting taken advantage of. I'll be telling them, you ain't going to get paid because I already paid you. I paid that copay when I came in this door, and my insurance paid you the rest. You ain't getting nothing else. If my insurance didn't cover it, then I'll deal with my insurance accordingly. But outside of that, you ain't getting another goddamn dime. But I'm not going to lie, they'll play the individual, especially minorities of all sort, and I'm not just talking about minorities. They play us out because they know we don't know no better. And half of us don't have insurance over on Medicaid or public assistance, so you're getting played. Because Medicaid pays well. Public assistance pays well. That's why a lot of doctors love that you're on it, because they know they can max out. They can max out.
Wow. Wow.
You don't never see no doctor who don't accept it, do you? Ever.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, they take it.
Because they max out because they know the government gonna pay for it. As long as they keep their data, because what they're gonna do is if you accept that, I'm gonna give y'all tidbits, and I think y'all need to know this. When you go to a place, that's why you got a lot of people who like going to private doctors who do not accept it because that information is not documented to the government. When you have anything public, it has to be documented to the government because they gotta see what's going on because they're giving you money. But if you're private, they don't have to report anything, so you're not included in the numbers. That's why a lot of people go to private doctors.
Okay.
So they don't want their doctors, and that's why you see all these stats. And they say, "Well, black people this and black people that." It's because most of us are on public assistance, and we're going to clinics that have to.
Okay. All right.
What's your brother doing? That has to give that information to continue to get funding. Same way for schools and everything else. If you're going to take money from the government, be ready to cop them up on data. That's just period. That's even for my people who are in business, who are looking to do contracts. Make sure your paperwork is in order because they're going to want to know exactly the data behind their money. They don't want to know where the money went. They want to know the data behind the money so they can say, statistically, they want to say that.
Yeah, okay, I see it.
That's more important than because statistics hold weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know we kind of went sideways, but...
Yeah, no, that's all right. That's all right. So let me ask you this. Can women have children vaginally with herpes?
Absolutely, I have 2. I have a 10-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. Absolutely, I have both of my children vaginal with no complications, no nothing. I'll tell my young ladies, if you're listening, don't get convinced into a cesarean. It's not required. If they are forcing you to do that, I don't care if they've been looking at your vagina since you was 13. Go to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They want the money. Cesareans are so dangerous, especially for black women.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous. Don't do it if your baby ain't in no type of distress, or if you're not having a physical outbreak. Do not do it. And I'm stressing this to anyone. Don't just be having, I don't care if you have all your kids cesarean, you have 5 or 6. Find somebody who's going to teach you how to have that baby without going through a cesarean. Because that's a lie saying, oh, you had a cesarean, you got to keep having. That's a lie. You just got to go to a professional to teach you how to push correctly.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. So let me
I'm telling you, black women are dying in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what they're doing? They're not taking care of us. They're letting us bleed out. They're not sewing us up well. They're not doing. We are testing them. We've been testing on this for years, and they want to see what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're in tubes, y'all. Come up out these tubes. You come out of tubes with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
We perish because we like, nah, y'all, come on. The word tells us everything we need to know. We just ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been telling our listeners about that. I'm like, you got to see how the medical community is treating us, because, even when it comes to painkillers, they feel as though we could take the pain. Our women are dying in childbirth, and that needs to be looked at.
And I will tell anybody, make sure you have a doula, because a doula is your advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Because with me, I want to have another child. I'm having number one, my midwife is black, period.
Mm-hmm.
It's enough out here. Stop saying you can't afford it. You can afford everything else.
Yeah.
You want to stay alive? If you want to birth a child into this world, you better cough out that money like you coughed out for a car. It's worth it.
Yes, definitely.
So my whole thing is find you a doula who believes in what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
If she's Muslim, don't let her birth your baby.
Yeah.
If she's a witch, don't let her birth your baby. I gotta put it out there.
Yeah, put it out there. Put it out there.
Muslims are doulas.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful.
Mm-hmm.
They use our kids as living sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling y'all, they love to be in the womb. It has a lot of power.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of power in the birthing room.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's a moment that you have to have with somebody who believes in what you believe in. Okay. Even for the individuals, because I know you got people watch your show who don't believe in. Just make sure whoever it is, they believe in what you believe in. Mm-hmm. Because you do not want to birth a child in not in your belief system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you need agreement. You need the power of agreement.
Y'all need to be in agreement, because they're going to do things and they may say things or chant things over your child.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got to curse. Y'all keep acting like curses ain't real. This is not no Disney. Disney's been telling us about magic for years, and we think it's a game. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's black magic, white magic is real, baby. Don't play with it.
Mm-hmm.
It will kill you for real. So yes, you can have children with no problem. I had my first son literally the next year after finding out my diagnosis, and then I got married. Because I found myself I ain't having no more kids. I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up having my second one when I was married.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Because now the listeners know. So let me ask you this: How do you coach people to disclose? How do you help them?
I'm happy you said that.
Yeah.
One thing, I have a course that I teach people how to disclose that I literally just completed. I go into detail from how prepping you to disclose, because a lot of us are not ready to, just like I talked about the having sex, that still on the leg and all that. You got to get, and knowing your body, you can't disclose until you get that, because you're walking into this relationship with that person have to trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't trust you, why would I trust you?
Yeah.
Why would I waste my time trusting somebody who's like, when the last time you had an outbreak? Well, I don't even know when I have an outbreak. And I'm even talking to my people on the other side, and I don't care about my community getting mad. If that person cannot tell you their symptoms or what their body is dealing with, now it's different for my individuals who are asymptomatic. They don't have any symptoms. I'm not talking about them, but if you just been with somebody, they don't have an outbreak, they can't tell you no triggers. They can't tell you anything about outbreaks. Do not have sex with them. You can like them. You can be with them, but wait until they figure that out. You're going to be at risk.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be at risk. And people ain't going to say that, but I don't care. I will. Don't do it. Because then that person will be mad, like, oh my God, you gave it to me. Because the person's going to automatically come in trusting you, believing that you're going to do everything you might to reduce the chance. They're just accepting the risk of it happening, and you had no control. That's all a disclosure is. I'm accepting what you can't control.
Okay.
But everything else, I'm expecting you to control as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And when you fail that, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I thought you knew. So the first thing is I always tell people, when you're disclosure, make sure you're ready to disclose. I also get into people's business pertaining to how do you feel about it. This is one-on-one that I do with some people. The course is very cutthroat, kind of giving you steps if you're kind of like, I can take my own time to do it. But for my one-on-one clients, I literally get in their business. How do you deal with rejection? How do you communicate? How do you communicate with that person? You know, how is your dating life? Because a lot of people don't like to be rejected, and a lot of people don't like to have hard conversations.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always tell people, I always ask, okay, I need to give you your business a little bit. I said, how did you meet them? Have y'all had sex already? Have y'all initiated sex already? And initiate means foreplay, okay, to me. You know, verbal or nonverbal. I got to say that because nonverbal is what men pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, you moving your legs around and you blushing your eyes and you rubbing on your... He see that. He know you ready, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ain't have to say it. I got to give my women that, especially my Christian women. Don't be at church, that in your eyes, he knows that you want it.
Mm-hmm.
If you mess around, you'll get it. Especially if he ain't a God, you'll get it.
Yeah.
He'll mess your life up. Okay, musicians, y'all better keep things in your pants. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, but I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it's really about first knowing yourself before you disclose. Because a lot of people, you're going to have the natural, I'm not even going to take away the natural fear. We all scared to always tell somebody something. You don't know how they're going to take it. You don't know people's experiences with STIs, because a lot of people had bad experiences where it was somebody in love that gave it to her, or they had a mom or a dad die from HIV or AIDS. You know, things like that. You don't know what their story attached to it. So I always tell people, make sure you're in a good place, because you just never know where the other person, where they are in their life pertaining to it. So after you get to do that, now you got to have a conversation. I tell anybody, if you're over 25 years old, that should be a phone conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 30 years old, you should not be texting somebody your sexual status. You need to grow up.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to grow up. You're too old for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So you need to be getting on the phone, and I'll give you like an idea. This is what I tell my clients. First thing you do, especially if y'all been talking for a minute, I'll tell anybody, if you just met that person, give it no more than 3 months, okay? And that's with no sexual contact, no kissing at all, no sex, no oral, no nothing, no sex, no nothing. Don't initiate sex at all in the first 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
because you do not want that person feeling like they've been played.
Yeah,
and they've been manipulated.
Yeah.
You know, you never want to get somebody emotional tied, sexually tied to you without telling them your status. They already feel like they got it. It's like a, I don't know how to explain. They feel like they got the STD for just even engaging in the thought of. So don't even engage, you know, in that. So no more than 3 months, y'all. No more. Now, I'll say everybody's situation is different. So if you got a complex situation, just reach out to me and we'll talk about that complex situation. But this is just simple. Just met somebody. No more than 3 months. No sexual contact in the first 3 months. After that, after y'all both determine what the goal is. What is the goal? If the goal is towards marriage, if the goal is just to be friends, if the goal is just to be sex partners, I don't care. What is the goal? And make sure y'all on one accord. If you're not on one accord, do not waste your time telling that person. Only when y'all on one accord, that's when it's time to disclose. And you will say, hey, I like you, enjoyed the time with you. You know, we both agreed that we want to move towards whatever that goal is, but I want to share something with you from my past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be real with you, brother. I know men don't like to tell words, so I do not promote it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't tell no man. You got to tell them something. He is going to come up in his mind what it's going to be. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. It's already creating anxiety. I want women to stop thinking that men do not have anxiety and depression and emotions. It's a lie. They have more emotions than us. They just suppress, and it's dangerous. Okay, so don't do that to them. Literally just I want to share something. Sharing is more positive word. It makes you feel more open and say, okay, this person really care about me. They want to share something with me. Hold on one second. My kids are loud. Hey. Sorry, mama first, okay?
That's all right. That's all right.
All right. So, it made me lose my train of thought, y'all.
No, you was talking about how you need to be honest with men and them being emotional.
Yeah, so, tell him. So you'll say, I want to share something with you. He's like, okay, cool. He told me, I know, I don't talk to him enough, but he's like, okay, cool. What you got to share? He kind of in a happy mode. Like, okay, she about to tell me something. We building a deeper relationship, so she feel open enough to tell me something her past. That's number one, he's going to be more prone to listen to, because he got to know whatever she dealt with back there is going to affect me up here.
Mm-hmm.
He's aware. Women don't act like men are not stupid, especially black men. They're not stupid. They're smarter than you think. Mm-hmm. Stop saying that they are. They are not. They just don't say a lot, but they see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to tell you that. Okay, so you'll say, I want to share something with you, and you go into your story. Your story is, how did you find out you have herpes? Keep it short and sweet. Now, if y'all have really deep conversations based off y'all chemistry, y'all telling each other every detail, then that's something you do. But if it's not that type of, chemistry quite yet, or you're just not that type of person anyway, then you'll tell them, hey, I was with my ex-boyfriend, we was active, I went to the doctor, I found out I had herpes, or, I was having some symptoms randomly and I went to go get tested, or I was, I'm talking from a female standpoint, or I was going to get my pap smear, I get every year, and I told them to test me for everything and I found out. Tell them like that, and I end up finding out I had herpes. Please, I understand people say HSV, you say H anything, everybody automatically sees HIV. Be careful with that, because you cannot take that back when it's already in the head.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's why I always tell people, go ahead and say herpes, because you say HSV. Most people don't know what HSV is. And you hear H and a V, you already think you're HIV. Don't even put that in people's head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I just say, always just go ahead and say, I have herpes. And then be quiet. Don't say anything. Give him time to process. If I ain't learned nothing else, being processed differently, give him a minute. Let him lead the conversation from that point, because he's going to ask everything he want to know. Don't tell him nothing he don't want to know. And then, because most women ramble, you're talking too much. Let him ask what he want to know. He's going to ask you, and I'll tell you this, he's going to ask you, when did you find out again? Especially if y'all been talking. So you want to he calculates your time frame. Mm-hmm. Okay? You want to make sure you want to mess around with somebody else. All right? So time frame. He's going to ask you that again. He's going to ask you, are you on any medication, or how you taking care of your body? Then he's going to ask you, can we have normal sex? Oral, oral genital. Can we have normal anal, if that's what you into? Okay? Then he's going to ask you, can you have children? That's his question.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because,
Clean cut it to the point.
I'm glad you said that.
If you cannot answer them right now, you're not ready.
Okay. I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of people, they deserve a right to choose whether or not they want to deal with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the problem. A lot of people want to be in control. They want to control people. And since a lot of people want to control people, that is the downfall. And when you want to control people, you don't give information. Let's talk about slavery. You don't want people to have information. That's how you control people. You pull back knowledge. You pull back information. So you have control of the narrative. Mm-hmm. And the same here. This is why individuals all the time don't disclose. I'm talking to myself. I did it multiple times. Do not do it. Literally, you will get beat up in the spirit. The enemy will beat your behind. He'll get you to do it and then taunt you. Mm-hmm. So don't do that to yourself. Please don't.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to say it, then I pray you walk away and say, I'm not ready. Then say you didn't have sex with them, and then say, I got to go back and tell it. Because I'm telling you, you off his trust instantly. And if he stay with you, he don't trust you. And sadly to say, many men start treating you like crap after that. Mm-hmm. Because he has no respect for you. Mm-hmm. He treat me bad now. He don't open doors. Why? You disrespecting him. First, number one rule, don't ever disrespect a man. Mm-hmm. Soon as you do, he will not respect you. I'm lying. Y'all are very simple. took me a long time to learn it.
Nah, I'm telling you.
Because women are not taught. I'm not gonna lie, we're not taught. Y'all are taught how to, court a woman and date a woman and mistreat a woman, depending on who you was raised by. You was taught that.
Mm-hmm.
And what keys and things like that. Even learning that it's custom, because every man is different.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So let me ask you this: what's your view on these STD dating sites?
No, I don't like it. This is personal.
Mm-hmm.
Please, y'all, I'm gonna say this: do not take what I say personal. That's my personal preference. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I believe God gives you the ability to meet people anywhere. Don't limit yourself. That's settling. That's in my mind. I believe dating, like sexual dating sites, is settling. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to disclose, because you don't want to be rejected. It's settling to me. Mm-hmm. I look at the underline. I ain't looking at it's somebody good on there and they good just like me. That's cool, but you really run from disclosing.
Yeah.
And I tell anybody, most of those people on there are way broken than the person you meet outside. Mm-hmm. And it was a more natural connection, not a forced connection. Mm-hmm. Those connections should be forced because we have a quote-unquote trauma bond. Look it up.
Thank you. Yeah. No, thank you. So, hey, I wanna shift it a little bit. I want to shift it. So, you're now offering people natural products. Can you tell us about some of your products?
Absolutely. So I have 4 products. And I'm going to tell you my history about coming up with these products. The thing is, when I first found I had herpes, I was broke as a joke. I just went to Auburn. I didn't have money. My mom really wasn't sending me money. I was a college student who worked jobs. I had work study and stuff like that. So mom was like, I got to send you the money because you're working. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have any money and I didn't know where to go to get things affordable. At that time, Amazon did not exist, y'all. Y'all think Amazon been here, but Google wasn't even here. So let me tell you, YouTube didn't exist. I was on Black Planet. Let's go how far back,
You was on Black Planet?
Yeah.
I was on Black Planet.
I met the best people on Black Planet. Like, I found like a couple of guys. Some of the greatest guys I met was on Black Planet. Mm-hmm. That was like the best dating site.
I remember that.
So I was that far back. So the first thing I had to do is I didn't want to get the medicine because I couldn't swallow pills at that time. I was not a pill popper. I could not swallow pills. And I'm not gonna lie, herpes pills used to be really, really big. They're not as big as they used to be, but they used to be really like horse pills. Like, they were huge. Mm-hmm. So it's not that big anymore, but it was like, and I couldn't swallow it. And at that time, I didn't know it would have been okay to crush it, but I didn't know, so I didn't do it. So I had to find stuff. So I went on Yahoo, and I was like, natural stuff to help me with my outbreak. And I just found little, like, tidbit of stuff that I was able to do without really spending no money. So as I continue on in the herpes community, I started learning about this. That's when, after a while, I think within the last 2 years, essential oils has become very huge. Mm-hmm. People coming up with products has been really huge. It wasn't like that before when I was first coming up. So I was like, I'm being asked on a daily for natural products. I ain't gonna lie, I got sick of sending them to somebody who didn't work. Their products didn't work. You discrediting me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be discredited. So I was like, nope, I ain't gonna do that no more. I want to make products that I know for sure work. And you're gonna walk away with what you asked for. Mm-hmm. Now I always say everything don't work for everybody because everybody's different. If you may be allergic to something, like that. But overall, I'd say about 85% of my clients are happy. And I give that big jump because at the end of the day, realistically, when people say 99, they're lying to you. They're lying. They just want to convince you. I'm not going to convince you. This is product. So I have 4. So the first product is Speed Me Up. So that product is a topical cream that you will apply with a Q-tip. Okay, we don't use our hands on our outbreaks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you'll get a Q-tip and you'll put it on there and it'll speed up the process. So basically it's full of essential oils. One of the main ones is tea tree oil and lemon balm. So, and if anybody know about anything about herpes, y'all know those two are the bomb for us. All right, it's good for healing. So that's the two of the main ones that's in there. So you'll put that on there. Good thing about that, you can put it on as much as you want. That's for any of my products. It's no cap off because it's all natural. Hey, you can use as much as you want.
Yeah.
You know, so that's that. Then I have the itch be gone. As we know, anybody who have herpes, had yeast infection, have bacterial vaginosis or anything like the itching is just horrendous. So I end up creating a spray to spray it on, and you can spray it as many times as you want as well, okay? Mm-hmm. And I won't say instant. It does give a very quick, response. I never would say immediate because everybody's different, okay? Mm-hmm. Immediate for some people is I don't want to feel an itch at all. No, it will settle it. Okay, it will settle it. This is not a cure. I'm not spraying on a cure, okay? It will settle it. Okay? Then you have another product, it's a washout soap. Most people get very, terrified to use multiple soaps. Especially if you got kids in the house and things like that, which you won't pass it to anybody, but it's just a fear. So now I created a soap that is very gentle, it's not harsh, especially for me if you're using, hot spring, that junk will burn the crap out of you because it's very, strong. So I would say you need something that's very gentle, okay? So the soap is a shea butter soap. And then I put essential oils in it where tea tree oil and lemon balm is also still one that is very heavy in it. So you know you're still getting what you need to heal your outbreak. It's still getting clean. Mm-hmm. All right? So that's good. And then I have a Relax Me tea, which I know most people struggle tremendously with stress and sleep. So I created a tea, a mixture of organic teas, mixing them together to give you a very calm and relaxed feel while you're going through your outbreaks, which you can use outside of the outbreak. But I kind of just wanted you to have something that you can ingest because everything else you can't. Everything else is external. So you can just take that so you can feel better. Because I just know the stress, and as we know, if you're stressing, it takes the outbreak longer to heal. Yeah. Because it's still firing it off. And a lot of people are like, Mom, wait. If you're still stressed, you got to calm down. Your body can't heal in that, your body can't heal in stress. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Exactly.
So I spoke with those. I love them. Really good products. It's so interesting. We're talking today. Today is the last day. For you, I extended. Okay. For you, extended. Until Friday.
Okay.
I will extend it for your people. Okay. My birthday special where you buy a product and I will give you one free.
Okay. All right.
No extra cost. No extra shipping. It's on me.
All right. You hear that, listeners?
Yeah, that's the love that I'll say. Because at the end of the day, the only thing I'm gonna have to create you something because I won't know. But it's all right. Yes, I will because I'm cutting it off for everybody else and I'll just keep it for y'all. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it. So if it comes through, I'll figure it out. No, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put that. I'll send you something.
All right. Because
I still have orders coming from everywhere else, so I gotta know it's you. So I'll create you a code or something for your people.
All right. Well, hey, you can just put on there, Brother Leon listeners, or just Brother Leon. Yeah.
But like I said, if you know other way to put it on there, or even if you do your order, put that on the side of your name. Your first name, put it Leon just put it on the side so I know it's you because I have orders coming in all the time. And I don't want anybody to be missed out and say, oh, Leon, I ordered, she's sending your product. I didn't.
Okay, and you said and you said Friday's the last day.
The best thing to do is when you order, put your first name and then just put Leon. You don't got to put the whole thing. Just put Leon right next to it so I know who it is, and I'll make sure you get what you need. And that'll be until tomorrow Eastern time. Yes, 11:59 Eastern time.
Yes. So if you listen to this episode after the fact, you can't get it. I'm telling you that. Don't be talking about, hey, I listened to it in September. Hey, I expect my problem. No. We ain't going to do our sister like that.
Honor it.
Huh?
I said, matter of fact, I'll still honor it.
Okay. All right. Okay, then. All right.
As long as they still put Leon, I will still honor it. And that'll be a good way for you to know how many people really got it. I'll still honor it.
All right, then. Okay, then. All right. She will honor it.
I have no problem with that.
Okay. All right. I'll appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because I was going to be listening to you a whole year later. I'll still honor it all the way until. I don't mind.
Okay. All right. That definitely worked. Tell us about your first book. Can you tell us about your first book, Overcoming What Can't Be Cured? Living Beyond Herpes.
So This book was just my story. I didn't see any black women talking about herpes. Everybody who talked about herpes in a book was a doctor. I don't care for you because you lied to me and you didn't protect me. So I can care for you telling me a story. And that's how we really all feel. It's like, I don't want to hear from you. I wouldn't be here if you was testing me. I wouldn't be here if you told me about it, type thing. So I want to speak from a normal human, don't know anything about herpes and living a normal life. So I went into detail of how I found out I have herpes, how I ended up having my son, in a relationship, marriage. I talked about all that. So I give you my literally raw, in your face, literally, I still cuss a little bit, so that was in that book then. Cuss like that now. I'm still working on my anger. So
all right.
Come out every once in a while.
Yeah.
But overall, y'all, that book, that's a really good book. That book, you can go to Amazon. You can go to bit/Belize Spivey, and you can get that book. And it come right off Amazon. It comes to your house.
Okay. What about your other book? Shame Starts With You.
All right. Now, I got a new book coming out, and it has nothing to do with herpes. Nothing. This book is helping women become free. And I think this is very important to me. Being a woman who has been in bondage, especially a Christian woman, being in bondage, how hard it is to seek this freedom that we keep saying we earned or we deserve. So I literally wrote a handbook type book to teach you. And it's not a big book when I say it's thin, but I'm talking about it will bust you in your head because I'm in your face. If you hear me now, you know I'm not fluffing. It's just like that. I'm getting in your business, but I'm getting you to write stuff out and question yourself and challenge yourself to really get where you want to be. It's like a deliverance in a book.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, that's what I want to do. Because a lot of people, and I can say, I have been delivered in my own house. It ain't always at church. I was in here laying in the floor. And that's another thing we got to kill, thinking that we have to be somewhere. A book could be all you need. Prayer be all you need. Worship is all you need. It's not what we think it is. It's different for everybody. So that book, my goal is to have that book by the end of the year. I'm not going to say the name of the book, because I'm still working on it. But at the end of the day, the name of the book is in your face, too. I want to get your attention. And there was no cuss words in it, I'll let you know now. It's none of that. I came a long way. I don't have to be like the world to get y'all attention. It's not worth it. But it's a really, really, really good book. Men can read it as well because I believe it'll help them as well, but it's really geared towards really letting us understand that it is hard being a woman. Stop letting people lie to you and act like it's easy. It's hard because we naturally have expectations on us. We also have our own expectations. We got some hormones that can try to control us. We get pulled from every angle. And to really humanize us for a minute, for us to realize what you feel is what you feel, baby, but you still deserve to be free.
Yeah, definitely. So, can you tell my listeners how they can get a hold of you, your social media and how they can order your products? Tell us about your website.
All right, so my website is www.stdlifecoach.com. And then my Instagram is stdlifecoach.com. And those are the two best places to find me. Make sure you like this Instagram. I am going to be in your face, so if you don't want nobody in your Instagram, then you possibly don't want to like me. I'm okay with that. I'm going to say I'm okay with that. But my DM is open as well. Like if you either or whatever works. But if you want any sessions, if you want to get into that course, like I said, that how to disclose course, I even have a free course to teach people how to get over the first 72 hours to get through their first 72 hours. That course is available to you. I'm having the sex after course come out tomorrow. Listen, you want to learn? We've been talking about sex all day. You want to learn how to have sex? I went into detail. I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. And that's a life. You can keep that course, you keep going back to it. So that comes out tomorrow. All of that stuff is going to be on our website, www.stdlifecoach.com. You can also get those products from there as well. It's also resources on there. If you want to learn how to make some extra money, I haven't given y'all a tidbit on how to make some extra money. when I was in my lowest lows, even in my highest highs, I don't leave money on the table. And I can teach you even how to do that.
Okay.
And everything is super affordable. All my courses are $29, y'all. Like, literally. I know my target market well. I love y'all.
Wow. Definite. So, I'm not going to lie. We definitely got to do this again. I'm serious.
Absolutely.
We definitely got to do this again.
That is done. Like,
yes.
There's so much we can talk about. It's unreal.
Yeah, we definitely got to do this again. So, Miss Spivey, can you leave us with some encouraging words? Because I know it's a whole lot of listeners are like, wow. I'm serious.
Yeah. We unpacked a whole lot and literally, we was on here for a minute, but it's still a lot of information in a short period of time. Mm-hmm. So the biggest thing I want to let you know, especially if you're living with herpes, you are not alone. If you've been feeling like that, it's a lie. The enemy always wants you isolated and feeling silent. And I literally just did a video which I'm going to release next week on my YouTube page. And I have a YouTube, so go STD Life Coach and you'll find me. But he wants you to stay in silence, because if you stay in silence, he can kill you. Yes. And nobody will know that.
Yes.
So you have to reach out for help. If that's even reaching out to Leon, say, Leon, look, I just need a vent. Mm-hmm. Like, just pray for me. Cover me in this. Like, I don't know what to do. Seek me out. I do one-on-one sessions, virtual one-on-one sessions, or just calls. I do those. I offer those. Those are my most popular things that I do, is doing calls with people. So you can really start saying that I'm normal. Because right now I got on the t-shirts and pants and some, look, no shoes on my feet. Okay? That's how comfort I will be sitting in your face. You will not see me all dolled up and beautified and make you feel low. Sad to say people do that. Make you feel like they're higher than you. And I'm never going to make you feel like that. We at the same level.
Okay.
I'm no better than you. I just figured out a different way. That's all.
Yeah.
I figured out how to overcome that thing, and I want to help you do that. So don't be by yourself. Stay in an isolated place. Fight to get free. And that's getting to people who can help you get there. Yeah. I'm telling you, ask for help. And when you get it, you don't need nobody. Just fight on. Let the Holy Spirit continue to lead you. But if you are not in a place that you can fight alone, you got to connect with somebody who is strong.
Yeah.
You have to connect.
Yes. Definitely. Miss Spivey, I definitely appreciate you today. That's the God knows truth. So I definitely want to do this with you again, because we done packed a whole lot of stuff, especially with the church and everything, because we got to have that conversation about sex. You know what I mean? Because
my goal, and I know God's going to do it for me, my goal is to get in church's business. I know God has called me to call out sexual immorality, and they ain't ready for me, okay? I'm aware that they're not, because I got a cutthroat way of doing things, but I love God to the core. And we need somebody who loves God, but going to keep it real.
Yeah,
but we got people who keeping it real but don't love God. They flipping it. We tired of that. That's why you see churches falling. Have you seen?
Yeah.
They busting their head on the concrete.
Yeah, see it. Definitely see it now. That's the God knows truth.
And we will continue. 2020 was a church opening eye. It was a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely. But hey, look, I definitely want to keep in contact with you. I appreciate you today.
Absolutely.
You are definitely a gift to the body of Christ, and I so appreciate you. That's the God knows truth. So,
I appreciate you, brother. I thank you for always supporting me, always in my inbox, always commenting, always just being super supportive. You have been really supportive in some very interesting times that you didn't know. So I really want to say I thank you. I thank you for your platform. I thank you the way you do it. Okay? The way you do it.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it like you do it.
Yeah.
But all I can say to you is just keep following God the way He wants, and He's going to adjust some things in your life, and that's it.
Amen.
He's going to adjust it. He'll adjust your character. He'll adjust some things that people don't see. And in the world, we'll see it.
Yeah.
He'll adjust it, though.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. You have yourself a blessed day, and I appreciate you.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. All righty, listeners. That was Miss Belize Spivey. So, guys, you have got to support her. I want you to support her, get her products. She's going to be honoring, if you listen to her today, she's going to be honoring sending stuff out if you just mention the Brother Leon Show. So she's going to be doing it for a while. So I want you guys to check out her books, Overcoming What Can't Be Cured, and also Shame Starts With You. And so I'm telling you, today we got a whole plethora of wisdom and knowledge. And I want you guys to know that no matter what, that God, he can heal you, because it started with me. When I asked God, Lord, I had to forgive myself first. And then I began to ask God to heal me. And the one thing that he healed in me was the fact of condemnation. That's the one thing that he started healing with me. Because the Bible says that there is therefore no condemnation to them who are in Christ Jesus. And so that started. And then the fact that I could believe again, and the fact that I could have faith again. And it's just a matter of time. Because I'm going to tell you, man, at the point of your belief and at the point of faith, miracles can happen. And I'm not trying to sit up here and tell you that it can't be cured, because I believe that all things are possible to him that believe. How far do you want to go? But the one thing that God healed in me is the fact that that whole thing about self-condemnation and self-hatred because of my past, because of my mistakes, he healed that in me. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. And that is the reason why we had this interview today, because I want you guys to see the possibility. I want you guys to also know that you don't have to listen to the voice of the world. You don't have to listen to the voice of the devil. You listen to the voice of God. And God has sent this handmaiden here for a specific time, for a specific reason. I believe that she's going to go into many churches. And I believe that not only will she coach people, but she's going to train people on how to work for her. And her business is going to blow up. That is the God knows truth. And she's going to be a woman in high demand, going all over the place, even going overseas. So guys, support Belize Spivey. She is on Facebook. She is on Instagram. You can catch her on YouTube. So support her ministry. Support and buy her products. If you're struggling, if you want to learn how to disclose, she can show you how to do that. And she does one-on-one. So with that being said, guys, we have had definitely a good day today. And I want you guys to be blessed. And that is the God knows truth. So here we go.
Walk in the truth that makes you free every day. Follow Brother Leon on all social media outlets.